What's going on, guys? It's Gerard. We're back and better than ever at Hemet Skate Park, bright and early, 7 a.m. in the morning, trying to beat the heat. That's going to be a theme, I think, for the rest of the summer, because it gets hot down there. As always, we're starting out with some pumping and some kick turns to get warmed up. I spent a little time in the 5-foot transition section, but I wanted to get right in the bowl today because I had some goals I wanted to accomplish. So coming from the last session, two things I really wanted to focus on changing. Number one, I wanted to move my front foot back up. So I had moved it behind the bolts into like a flat ground ollie position. I don't think that actually helped after watching some more backside air videos. So I put it all the way firmly up on the bolts. I needed to change my pump, so even here I'm pumping too late. I need to pump a lot earlier to make sure my legs are straight, so that instead of trying to do like a regular ollie, I'm actually pulling the board off the wall. You got to think about it. You're on a flat wall, gravity's going to do the work for you. You don't need to really jump. You're just pulling it off. And then I really wanted to focus on changing my takeoff point. So there's that little circle in the deep end of the bowl. It's pretty much vert at that point, so I wanted to treat that like the coping and see if I can pop there and really get the feeling of that float today. So you see a lot of kick turns here. I wanted to feel really comfortable before I started popping. I wanted to get this angle just to make sure I was hitting the coping. I talked about that in the last one, and boom, we got it. If there was any doubters out there, if anybody wasn't sure if we were getting the coping, we got it. Now, one thing I need to be careful of, and this is something that you're going to see is going to affect me later on as I'm popping and trying to get some of these backside airs, is that my kick turns, I'm over-rotating my upper body. So I'm getting good rotation. That one actually was pretty good. The goal is to keep my front arm, so for me being goofy, that's my right arm, lined up with my front leg. And so what I'm doing a lot of times is almost like a back disaster motion where I'm pre-rotating, and so to stop myself I'm having to unwind or rewind my upper body so that I don't over-rotate and just fall to the flat bottom. But it's something I think I'm going to have to fix in sessions coming up, because it is something that's starting to affect my kick turns, my ollies, and everything else, so I got to be conscious of that. So here I'm starting some backside ollies, and I want you to really pay attention to the pump. So I'm pumping after the transition starts. So after the curve already happens, I'm pumping. And what that's doing is it's really pushing me straight into the wall. So I'm having a really hard time, and you'll see the slow-mo here. My pump doesn't start until after the transition's already started. And so trying to get off of the wall is really difficult because all my momentum, and my face shows it there, is shifting me forward into the wall. So I can't really get off of it. So that's something that I'm going to have to fix too. If all my momentum is going into the wall, I'm never going to be able to pop off of it. So I am feeling good about the height. I mean, I'm getting little baby ollies, but I'm landing on the tile, so it gives me hope for the future that I'm going to be able to pop out of the top. So some of the same problems here, just pumping too late. My legs are not getting straight enough, and so I'm not getting that floating feeling, even though I'm getting all the way up to vert. We're rocking the red boxer briefs today, so was feeling spicy. I was really trying to get that rhythm by doing just regular to fakie pumps. I don't know how much it was actually helping me, but mentally, this was kind of the run. I would do a pump to fakie, a kick turn with a nose grab, which presented its own problems for me today, and then I would go for the backside ollie. Still, same thing, late pump, getting stuck to the ramp. Little bit closer there, and I was able to float it. So you can see legs start extending before the curve, legs are straight, I get the pop, and a nice float. So my shoulders aren't rotated properly, but you can see that's the key. Late pump, didn't get off the ramp. Let's watch this one. Late pump, couldn't do it. So I really have to be conscious of pumping before the transition, starting to extend my legs. That one was a lot better, so I can straighten them out and pull my legs to me. Even though that one wasn't a big pop, it was still a lot better. It's funny, these are all things that you're trying to fix and you're thinking about when you're skating, and you can think about it all you want, but sometimes you still don't do it. So it can be really frustrating sometimes watching this footage back and watching myself make the same mistake over and over and over when I know what I need to change. But even if you only get 1 or 2 good ones, it helps you know what it's supposed to feel like. I was getting a little overzealous, had a couple good backside ollies, said, I'm going to go for a grab, and then it ruins everything. Nice and floaty there, much better pump. Late pump, stuck to the wall. Late pump, stuck to the wall. I'm doing a good job of still getting little baby ollies, even with a bad pump. But man, it just makes everything so much harder. And stuff like that happens, and it hurts. That one was nice, felt good. And I will tell you this. Really, last session, I think I had 1 backside ollie that felt a little floaty, and it felt incredible. When you're actually up on vert, and you get everything right, and you pump right, and you pop right, and you lift that front leg up, my goodness, it's one of the coolest feelings ever. My arms are still a problem. It's like so painful watching this. I know that I need to keep my front arm lined up with my front leg. That's kind of the whole idea behind the kick turns. You see I'm trying to get some grabs for frontside airs. I was definitely not ready, but some of these attempts weren't terrible. But when I talk about that idea of having to keep your front arm lined up, the problem is then when I go to turn, I turn my arms before my legs and they come out of alignment and it pushes me completely off balance. And so the fix for that is to pre-wind so I can keep everything lined up. So I can tell you right now that is going to be my sole focus for next session. But as I'm going for these, I mean, it's so funny, the mental battle in skateboarding. It's one of those things where you're trying so many different things in your head and none of them are working. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm just not going to get it today. I'll be comfortable getting some backside ollies, but I know I'm not going to get a grab. I'm not going to get a backside air. And so it's funny how quickly you want to give up, but also how you just keep going. Oh, that one actually felt amazing, super floaty. I think I just got scared. So I think I was up in the air a little too long, so when I was coming back down to the ramp, I was just like, I'm bailing it. I'm going to my knees. That's one thing about doing the kick turns over and over and over, doing these little backside ollies. You're just building up trust that you can actually land back on the board. I mean, there's nothing that really feels like this on flat ground. When you're 10, almost 11 feet up in the air and you're just floating, you really can't simulate that any other way. I wanted to change angles. I'm actually really disappointed with a lot of my attempts here because I had a couple really nice floaty backside ollies and I'm like, man, I really want to see one of those from a different angle. And I don't know that I ever really got one of those attempts from this angle. And all of it comes down to pumping too late. I mean, you can see my knees. It's so frustrating. Knees are still bent after the transition. I haven't started lifting up. And so the ramp fights back. I mean, you really have to use the ramp to your advantage. And so if you're not pumping right, it messes it all up. It's so funny too because I go from doing probably 5 or 6 not good backside ollies in a row. Ooh, man, that one was deadly. You can't really see it that well, but one of my wheels was on the coping. I'm going to call that a backside ollie truck bash, so I'm going to claim that. But man, could have gone a lot worse. But it's funny, I'll go from 5 or 6 terrible backside ollies and then think, oh, I'm going to try backside airs now. And so this was me trying to fix that, realizing, what are you doing, dude? Try and get some good backside ollies under your belt so you can actually start going for it. But you can see how quickly you can get out of that rhythm. I had some good ones. I know how I need to pump, and I'm just not doing it. I think it's going to be fun to go back to the vert ramp. That one felt nice and floaty. Late pump, can't do it. It's going to be fun to go back to the vert ramp because in the bowl, obviously, you have the little waterfall that takes you into the deep end. And honestly, it does mess with my timing a little bit. There's some advantages to having the one vert wall. You don't really have to think about what you're going to do on the other side. because you're going to go up this little waterfall and it's shorter, whereas on the vert ramp, both sides are huge, and so you have to be ready at all times. But having to go down that extra little pump can sometimes throw off my timing, so I'm curious to see if it's better or worse when I do make it back out to the vert ramp. Now, an attempt like that where I actually held onto the board, I do want to say, you'll notice I'm not wearing wrist guards this time. That was a conscious decision to switch up the pads. It's so much easier to grab. I mean, a million times easier to grab without wrist guards. And so being able to hold on the board gives me some confidence. We're getting the full setup line here. Kick turn. Once again, my arms are just a little weird. That one wasn't terrible, but I've got to fix that next session. Ooh, and I think we can potentially claim that as my first ever backside air under coping. So look at that good extension, legs up. I get the pop and the nose grab, and I was kind of in disbelief. You're probably used to me screaming really loudly when I land things. Obviously, the ultimate goal is a backside air over the coping, but I wasn't really sure that I did it. I felt the float, I felt the grab, but it's one of those things where you almost can't believe it. And here, I'm trying to get it again, and these ones aren't bad. I'm getting a little bit of pop, but I'm really not releasing from the ramp very well. But the funny part was the only guy watching me skate the bowl, and I'm not making this up, he was cool, he was skating around and stuff, but he was a deaf skater. So he had no interaction with me, really. And so even if he saw it and was excited, I have no idea. Those last couple attempts I wanted to include because it was the same thing, kind of little baby steps, getting the grab, is more of a kick turn with a little pop than anything. But ooh, that one's, we're getting back in it. A little under rotated, I gotta fix that, but got the pop, got the nose grab. I want to go for another one right away because I want that feeling back, get a wonky kick turn in between. Ooh, and probably my best one, and you can see it on my face that I'm stoked about it. So we see pump nice and early, body's going up, legs are straight. I probably could wait a split second longer. I get the grab, and I'm able to bring it back in. I will tell you right now, that was one of the coolest feelings I've ever experienced. There's still so much for me to work on to fix it and to make it better and make it consistent. It's going to start with my rotation, but I can't even explain how cool that felt, and you can see how badly I want to feel it again. Board coming at me. Luckily, they called that out. I was pumping the other side to try a backside air, so. My timing started to feel better, not with the kick turn part of it, and I think those kick turn nose grabs really were throwing me off and messing with my kick turn timing, so I've got to be aware of that. I think I would count that one there, too. I know my back wheels came down a little soon, but ooh, same thing there. But I'm getting the feeling of the grab, and that's something at the beginning of this session I literally thought was impossible. I know what I need to work on for next time. I got to get the pre-wind back. I got to get my rotation fixed so it's not like a backside disaster and I can get a better pop. But this session felt like the biggest breakthrough as far as getting that feeling of floating on vert, and so I'm dying to get back out there. I'm dying to make the adjustments and see if I can get better. These videos are designed to be kind of just reflection for me, so if I don't sound super excited all the time, that's a part of why I'm kind of analyzing this footage so I can get better later. Obviously, I'm going to be posting the shorts too if you just want a little snippet, but man, let's see what my past self had to say. All right, just got done in Hemet. I'm pretty sure I landed some backside airs at least under the coping. It was one of those things where if you guys watch my videos, you're probably used to me losing my mind and celebrating. Obviously, under the coping is not the end goal. It's kind of the same reason I didn't go to my community college graduation ceremony. It's like, I'm looking for the 4-year, baby. I'm looking for above coping. But I think the adjustments I made, making sure I was standing up, moving my front foot up on the bolts made a huge difference. I was able to get backside ollies way higher than I ever have before. I mean, really at the coping. And that gave me confidence to start going for the backside airs. I really struggled to grab for a long time, but at the end of the day, once again, it came down to the pump. If I was pumping late into the transition, I couldn't get off the ramp. If I pumped early so my legs straightened out at the top, that's when I was able to pop off and grab the board. So I haven't looked at the footage yet. I'm mostly recording this so I don't forget some of the adjustments I made and some of the excitement. I'm sure I'll be even more excited if I look at the footage and it looks good. But either way, that was a huge step forward today. And man, I'm looking forward to the next one. We'll see you guys next time.